So we have a shot of juice here, and we're going to start our cancer-fighting foods off right with a little shot of juice. What is in the juice? How many of you have had the juice recipe? Anybody? Raise your hand. Anybody? Juice recipe? Nobody knows. Okay. I'll give you a copy of this. What you have is kale. You have spinach, celery sticks, cucumbers, green apples, lemon, ginger, and turmeric. How many of you know what turmeric is good for? It's one of your biggest cancer-fighting foods, right? Turmeric.
Diabetes.
Diabetes, you name it. And Quay said it right. Inflammation, and inflammation is all about disease, right? So the recipe that you are drinking right now is right here. You guys can pick up a copy of that when you're done. I'm going to go over tonight. We have some things we're going to cover. You can see up here, we're going to talk about juicing. We're going to talk about sweeteners. We're going to talk about things that you can cook with, things you shouldn't cook with, and some cancer-fighting foods as well as vitamins that you can consume as well. And then at the end, I'm also going to, like, kind of while you guys are eating, I'm going to go through some things. Is it sour? Oh, how does it taste? Is it sour? I got a little sour shot. It's like a lemony soury. It's sour. Woo! So you got a little shot.
It's refreshing.
Everybody is healthier right now. You're fighting cancer right now as we speak, just from shooting that in there, right? So I'm going to hit on the foods, the vitamins. We'll talk about some of the recipes that people brought here. Thank you. You can, anybody, give the team a shot if they have some. That would be fabulous. And then I'm going to do some Q&A for those of you who have some questions about cancer-fighting foods just in general. Before I get started, I don't know, I realize that I think many of you have no clue really how I got started, like why I became a chiropractor, and I thought I would share that with you. Does anybody know, like why? Okay. So nobody really knows my story, and I thought I would share that with you guys because it dawned on me that a lot of people don't really know. Really what happened with me was when I was 16, I got a phone call. I was in high school, and I got a phone call, and I got pulled out of my school, and they told me, your dad's been in a terrible car accident. And so you can imagine being 16 and kind of hearing that news, like your heart's like pumping, and you're freaked out, not sure if he's alive. And that's really where I was. So they said, your dad's been in a car accident. They had to cut the cab off the top of his truck, and they had to get him out of his truck and then care flight him in an ambulance or in a helicopter to the hospital. So I'm, freaked out, and we get to the hospital. My dad was pretty banged up from the accident. And so the good news is he made it out of the hospital. He was pretty banged up though. So we came home, and the following weeks, my dad was dealing with a lot of pain from the car accident. I know how many of you know people who have pain from car accidents, right? So my dad was dealing with a lot of pain from the car accidents, and he kept going back and forth to the doctor, and the doctor finally said, we don't know what to do with you. So they gave him an antidepressant, Prozac. And so my dad started taking Prozac. Now, they never sent him to a chiropractor, so I'm just going to get that out there as well. They never sent him to a chiropractor. They give him the antidepressant medication, and a couple weeks later, my dad actually shot himself in our home that I grew up in. And so that is really what got me started to do what I'm doing. I actually ended up at a chiropractor's office after that, and it rocked my world. I became a maximized living doctor because I 100% with all of my heart know and believe that the 5 essentials can prevent disease, and it actually can help you heal from any disease that you have, even if it's pain, like I said, like my dad went through from a car accident. I was 16. I didn't know anything about chiropractic. And so I actually am committed now. My husband and I have committed the rest of our lives to being able to help people so that that never happens to anybody else again. And like I said, I really believe with all my heart that if you live a 5 essential lifestyle and you commit to learning how to get better at, your own life, at getting a little bit, that's what these workshops are for, getting a little bit better every time you come at cooking and living this lifestyle, there's really nothing you can't overcome. Like because of my experience, I was a chiropractic assistant for 6 years before I actually became a chiropractor. So I've got, 24 years of chiropractic underneath me, and there's really not any disease or disorder that I have not seen. I've seen it all. And to me, my faith, confidence, and belief comes from the fact that I know that everyone has healed from everything that I can think of. And so it's just a matter of really plugging in. Now, we're not perfect. I mean, right? Some of us are just getting started. Some of us have been in it a little while and we fall off. The good news is we're here. You can keep plugging back in and you can keep starting over, right? We can keep starting over and we can keep getting a little bit better every day. So that's really why I do what I do and what, my commitment is all about and why I'm doing it. Now, I want to touch on the fact that I think a lot of us have went to the Women's Guide to Wellness, right? You came to the makeover. You got this 4-week challenge, yeah? You got the 4-week challenge. Now, probably not very many of you have been using it, but I want to point out, open this up. You have it at home if you haven't been using it. This is powerful. These little action steps every day can get you a little bit closer to what it is that you desire as far as your health is concerned. But one of the things that we talk about in week 2 is called food is fuel. So it's all about nutrition, which is good news. That's what we're going to hit today is a lot of stuff about nutrition. And food fuels everything you do. Now, how many of you know what fuels a cancer cell? Sugar. This awesome group. Cancer cells are fueled by sugar, right? So we don't want to make cancer cells happy and make more of them, right? We want to starve them. That's the purpose of today. You're going to learn a lot of recipes that you can eat that are desserts, that are healthy, that are advanced plan. Does everybody know what advanced plan is? Who does not know what I mean when I say advanced plan? Okay, good. So these are healthy desserts that are advanced plan that actually will shut the sugar down, shut the cancer building process down. And so that's the good news. Now here's one of the things that Quay said that was really powerful. A diet rich in vegetables can reduce inflammation. Inflammation causes diseases, plural, and ignites what? The big C word. Cancer, right? Okay, so it says on day 8, these were your challenges. It has something to do every day. So we're starting day 8 today. In day 8, it says this is the most important day of the week. Today is shopping day. Plan your meals, make a shopping list, and prep as much food as possible. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. Okay? So shopping day is really powerful. Now, speaking of shopping day, we actually have a shopping day on Wednesday. Dr. DeBoer, come out here and wave your hand. Dr. DeBoer is going to take people shopping at Costco. We do have a full list.
There's 2 spots.
Okay, 2 spots. So Costco only has a limited number of people that they can fit. So if you would like to learn how to shop at Costco, get with Dr. DeBoer, and she's going to take you around and show you how to shop at Costco. I mean, you can get a lot of really good organic and non-GMO foods there and save money, especially if you have a big family, okay? So that is going to be day 8, shopping. Now, day 9 is cutting your carbohydrates. Now, what do I mean by cutting your carbohydrates? What are the carbs that I mean to cut?
It's the white
flour, white grains, what else? Sugar? Simple sugars, right? So what about noodles? Noodles, okay. You said bread. Did you say rice? So flours, all the white stuff, right? Okay, good. What about potatoes? Right, potatoes as well. So those are the things that you want to do for cutting the carbs. Now that's day 9, okay? Day 10 is phenomenal. Raid your pantry. Raid your pantry. What I'm thinking about doing is doing what we would call a pantry party, where we would come over to your house and show you how to raid your own pantry. Would you guys like that? Huh? Or you'd probably be embarrassed because Dr. Herb's at your house, right? So a pantry party, we would raid your pantry, right? So raid your pantry. And what it's saying here is get rid of in your refrigerator and your pantry the things that are causing inflammation. And some of you really just need to bite the bullet and just throw the stuff away. Like, so I hear people say, well, I'm just going to kind of eat it until it's all gone. For some people that might work, but most people that does not work, right? Because really you kind of have to put both feet in and just do it, right? And some of this stuff that we're going to talk about tonight, you don't want to give it away, you want to throw it away, right? We'll talk about some of these things right here, like it doesn't belong in anybody's pantry, okay? Day 11 is resist the sweet stuff. So the amount of sugar that the RDA says that a woman should have every day is 20 grams. And 36 for a man. 20 grams of sugar, that would be like one soda, like you'd be done for the whole day, right? So it's not really a whole lot of sugar, even though it should be much less than that. But think about what we're doing. Like we're getting way more sugar in that in one day, right? Day 12 would be a reality check. So you'll pass your favorite fast food restaurant while running errands. And you kind of get a little Tourette's thing going, like, oh, right? You know, you get a little bit shaky. I drive by McDonald's every day because my house is over this way. And every time I turn the corner to get on Sandy Lake, I scream, no, don't turn in there. And there's 2 lanes at McDonald's now. It's not just one, right? So I'm always like, don't turn there, you know. So it's like we really have to, you know, break those habits. Those are some just bad habits. And why would we do that? It's more about the lack of what? Self-control. Self-control and the lack of planning most of the time, right? Planning and preparation, right? So this is what we're talking about, the shopping day, planning, preparation, choosing it, making a list. And then day 13 is choose the right fats, the good fats that we'll talk about. So we're going to talk about the fats tonight. And then day 14 is share your success. Share your success, guys. Tell your friends and your neighbors and your family members. Post it on Facebook. Get people to plug into a local Maximized Living doctor in whatever city that they're in, because it really truly is saving people's lives. It's healing them and removing the diseases that are really debilitating people. People are on the side of their bed every night praying for an answer for their health condition. That's the number one thing that people are praying about in churches, in Bible studies, and everywhere is health. And so we have to be the louder voice to say, hey, you know, I heard that you're suffering from this. Hey, why don't you check out your local Maximized Living doctor? They're going to take you shopping. They're going to tell you to raid your pantry, right? They're going to help you, give you the tools that you need to be able to live and overcome whatever the disease or disorder is that you're struggling with, okay? So did you guys like your juice? Who liked the juice? You literally just killed cancer cells. Okay, you just killed cancer cells by drinking that juice. So that's pretty exciting. Okay, so we got through that. And then other things coming up. I just want to touch on a little bit more housekeeping before we get into some other things. I know that some people wanted a little bit more information about cancer, so you know that we didn't get to cover at the Cancer Killers event, the women's event. There's only a limited amount of time, so the more information about cancer, we have these little cards around the office. They look like this, and if you use the QR code and you just scan the QR code, you actually can watch this Cancer Killers event. And it gives you a lot of action steps specifically for cancer. So these are around the office as well. And then in addition, the truth about cancer, this is phenomenal. This information, very, very cutting edge information. A lot of people have asked me about thermography. We do have a waiting list, but thermography is one of the best tools for checking to see if you have cancer, to see if you're headed in that direction, and making sure that you prevent it. So thermography, if you have questions about that, that's something else that you can hit at the front desk. So you don't have to choose. Eating in a way that promotes true health doesn't have to mean giving up foods that your taste buds enjoy. There are many indulgent options. So there's a lot of really good foods, obviously, that we can eat that are desserts. And it's kind of an aha when you realize it, especially when you come to an event like this. There's so many lovely things in here that you can try and realize. And then sometimes you realize that maybe you cooked it and it didn't turn out so good. So that's what I think this is going to be good for us to share. I've burned a few things and maybe put too much stevia or not enough, right? Anybody else do that? Yeah, okay. So we're going to cover the healthy fats, the oils, and things like that from the eating plans books that we have. The first thing we're going to touch on is sugar. Now there's a really powerful chart about sugar that this time of year, just like Dr. David said, the self-control issue this time of year is massive. If you can start this program now and set a goal all the way through the holidays and give yourself a vacation meal on specific days. One of the things that we recommend is like for Thanksgiving, Halloween, you might give yourself one day. And then when you get to Thanksgiving, give yourself one day. And then when you get to Christmas, give yourself one day. And then New Year's a day. Like give yourself 4 days through this entire holiday season and pick the day. Otherwise, it'll get picked for you. Like you'll show up at work and somebody's got this or that, and then you're really in trouble. I had one of the most devastating things happen to me. I'll never forget it. I can still see the patient's face right now. I could cry actually right now thinking about her, but one of my very, very favorite patients that I had probably about 8 years ago, she came to me and she had stage 4 cancer. And we took her through all the cleanses and all the, everything that I knew that she needed. And just before the holidays hit, we got a phenomenal report. Now, not very many people come back from stage 4, right? So she had stage 4 breast. It had spread to her lung, and a spot on her liver. And after she came to us, like I said, we took her through her spinal correction program. We saw the nerves on her spine, actually, the compression of the nerves actually were the exact locations of the organs that she had cancer. So we were able to immediately get started on her spinal correction program and turn the nerves on, activate the healing process. We got her on the detox programs and the diet and everything. And we got a phenomenal report just before the holidays. And she was completely clear of all cancer. Wow. Now, she didn't do chemo and radiation. She did everything natural. And so it was one of those, God, you are so good. Like, it's just amazing, And so I remember standing at the front of the office as I was walking her out, and one of the things I said to her was, I know it's the holiday, and I know you want to celebrate because this is a really big deal. Like, you no longer have cancer. This is something that we naturally, when we celebrate, what do we want to do? We want to eat, right? So I said, I know that's what you're going to want to do, and I know your family's coming into town, but please, I'm begging you, please don't go crazy over the holiday. Because what you did to get where you are now with the no cancer diagnosis, you have to do the same thing to maintain that, right? What you did to get there, you have to do it to maintain it. Dr. Charlie, who wrote the Cancer Killers book, he's got his protocol in here of what he did. And 5 years later, he's cancer-free. And what he does to maintain a cancer-free diagnosis is still a very stringent, protocol. But he's here for his kids. So I begged her, I said, please do the same thing that you did to maintain this cancer-free diagnosis. And what do you think she did? Her family came into town, and next time I saw her, she was like, well, we went out to eat, and we had wine, and we had champagne, and then we had dessert, and then we went to my favorite restaurants, and then we went, and I get it. Like, I get it that it was like she wanted to celebrate. Like, I get it on an emotional kind of level, But it was one of those things that it haunts me, because I know that I told her, but I almost feel like I needed to be in the car with her, because she literally, right around New Year's, I get her coming into the office, and it was like full-blown cancer, and now it's like she fed it like crazy, because what feeds cancer? And is alcohol sugar? Yes. Right. Is it dessert, the kind of dessert right? Not these desserts, right? So what she did was she basically took this little fire and she just poured gasoline on it, and it was actually calm and it was about to go out, and she just poured gasoline and just made it huge. So we lost her. We lost her after that. It had spread everywhere, and it was one of those things. So just like Dr. David said, pick your days that make it a vacation meal, and then get all the crap out of your house after that. Don't take it with you, just get it out, and then get back on track the next day and do a lot more of the things that we're going to talk about tonight. Okay? Are you guys good with that? Okay. So one of the biggest things in this chapter here, in chapter 1 of this book, that I recommend that you do is you go to page 13 in this book. Have you guys recognized that chart? It's in chapter 1. Make a copy of this chart and put it on your refrigerator and put it around your house, because it'll remind you that sugar causes the hormone problems you're having, and sugar causes the metabolism problems and the obesity and the high cholesterol. Guys, none of us need to be on cholesterol medication. We cut the sugar out, your cholesterol will normalize. Okay? Your body. What do you need cholesterol for? We learned it at the makeover. What's cholesterol good for? But what else? Every hormone that you have to have cholesterol. If your hormones are trash and you're taking a cholesterol lowering medication, what you've just done is you shut your hormones down, right? The precursor to make every hormone that you have, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, you name it, the precursor to make every hormone is what? Cholesterol. It's cholesterol. You get it from your fats. So see how it kind of you contradict it by taking a lowering medication? If you lower it, then you don't have the precursor made to be able to make the hormones that you need. So that's why you see people taking cholesterol lowering medication and then they're, quote, low T. You guys know what that means? Right? They're low T, or their progesterone's a mess, or not, right? It's because we've lost the goods. We don't have what we need, the precursor to be able to make our hormones. So cholesterol is really critical. Now, what screws up our cholesterol levels, what'll mess it up, is sugar. It puts you on the fast track to diabetes. It increases acidity in the body. Did you know that almost every single cancer is grown in an acidic environment? Acidic. Now you can check your urine and get the little urine strips and check your urine and see if you're where you are. You can check your saliva as well too and see where you are with your acidity. And so you want to make sure that you're not acidic, that you're in the alkaline environment, and sugar will create that, right? So you want to cut that out. It leads to inflammation, heart disease. It's a known toxin and it promotes cancer. So we want to make sure that we're cutting the sugar out. Now, what are the alternatives? It doesn't mean give up all the sweets, but what are the alternatives? I'm going to show you some of the bad stuff. Did I ever tell you guys the story of my son getting up and holding the sugar packet? Do you guys know the story? So I'm going to show you some of the bad alternatives that are like the, quote, sugar-free, the toxic, sugar-free type things. When my son, he's 16 now, I think he was 4 at the time. Boys are so black and white. Like when they learn something, it's black and white. There's no gray down the middle. My son, I remember, we always trained him that the packets on the table were toxic, right? And they burn holes in your brain. So we told him that. Like he just knew it. And when you tell a boy that, that's just what they know. So he's out with his grandparents, and he is sitting in a restaurant, and he sees the packets on the table, and he thinks, I have got to protect everybody in this restaurant right now. So he stands up in the seat. Everybody, there's poison on the table! Everybody, there's poison. So he's holding these sugar packets, and his mama and papa are losing their mind. What is going on with our grandson? Now, at the time, most of you met Maydeen this weekend, my mother-in-law. At the time, my mother-in-law thought I was crazy. Like, she did not believe that artificial sweeteners were so damaging. And so she really thought we were crazy. Now, since then, she's come full circle, and look at her, she's like about to run a half marathon. But at the time, she thought it was crazy. And so it's really true. Like, the stuff that's on the table is poisonous. So you really want to stay away from the packets that are on the table. So what are some of the common artificial sweeteners that we see or that we don't see? Aspartame, right, is one of the biggest ones, right? Guys, this stuff will burn a hole in your brain, and that's not even a joke. My first case of multiple sclerosis that I had in my office back about 12 years ago was the youngest case I'd ever seen. There was a 16-year-old girl, and her parents had signed up for a multi-level marketing company that sold health and sports drinks. And so the health and the sports drinks, they came and they met with me, and they sat down with my husband and I, and they wanted me to try and sell these things. And then I looked at them. Of course, I look at everything, right? And I pointed out the fact that it had aspartame in all of the drinks. It also had sucralose. You guys, have you ever heard of sucralose? Okay, that's another one. So I pointed out that it had that in there, and I said, please do not sign up for this company and do not sell these products, because they will burn holes in your brain. I'm going to draw it out for you. And I drew a picture, and I showed her the neurology of how it all worked. And so they were like, we already spent all the money and, like, you know, bought into it, so we're just going to do it. So they left, and they did it. And 6 months later, the daughter comes in, and she says, I'm running into tables, and I'm walking along, and I'm running into stuff, and my eyes are really blurry. She's telling me all this stuff, and I evaluate her, and I'm like, she's got MS. Sent her out for an MRI, and there's plaques all over her brain, holes that had burned in her brain. And so that's what will happen when we drink the sports drinks and we eat the mints and the gum it's hidden in all those things. I remember a time when I would buy double mint gum and it did not have any artificial sweeteners in it. Do you guys remember a time? Long time ago. Double mint gum was the thing back in the day. My mom used to chew that. That's what we had. Now, double mint gum is just full of, right, all the artificial sweeteners. So you got to look at that stuff. Aspartame, Splenda is another one. This one has chlorine in it. So you would never drink chlorine out of your pool, right? Because chlorine does what? What does it do? It kills bacteria, right? It's used for drinking water in the system, right? Our public sewage system, so that it kills any bacteria. And then when it gets to your tap, you want to make sure that you filter it out, right? Splenda has chlorine in it. That's what's one of the byproducts is chlorine. So you want to stay away from Splenda, okay?
Is it listed on the box? Does it say that, or what?
Does it list it on the box? No. It's the way that they make it. So it says dextrose, maltodextrin, and sucralose. I actually had the opportunity to be on the phone with the scientists that made Splenda. And they were all the nerds, the science guys. And so they were telling me how they made it. And they were like all proud of the process that they went through. But it has chlorine in it. And so we had a couple of the guys on the phone going, okay, but this is burning holes, and this is killing people and causing cancer. And they're like, yeah, but it's like cheap, and it's like doesn't cause the glycemic index to go up and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, no. So this is one of those things you want to make sure you stay away from is Splenda, okay? Equal, you'll see sucralose. There's a little package of sucralose here. If you guys haven't seen how to spell it, it looks like sucrose, so you can kind of get tricked. So make sure you get this. You look at the sucralose, and I see this one in a lot of the sports drinks, not Gatorade, but some of the other, you know, the Bull, the Red Bull, those things. I see this in Red Bull. A lot of the sports drinks. So you want to look at, like, really scrutinize. Look at the back of the other ingredients, and you'll see that in there. Okay? And then the other thing would be, this is just regular sugar, which is just as damaging, right? So this would be the whites that you're talking about, the white sugar. And then the sweet and low packets. Okay? Sweet and low really has, it says the same thing, nutritive dextrose, saccharin, cream of tartar, calcium, anti-caking agent. So you just want to stay away from the sweet and low as well. Yes?
Yeah. you're in a place and you're having your iced tea
Yeah.
and you don't have your stevia with you,
I would
which is
rather
the
you do nothing or do this.
sugar is better than any.
I mean, I'd rather you do nothing. Just
Okay,
do the
but-
plain. But if you're in a scary place, don't burn a hole in your brain. Just have regular sugar.
I've just always thought that of them all, that Sweet and Low was the least.
I'm glad you asked that.
Okay.
Sweet and low is not the least of it. They're all bad. I would rather you have regular sugar. That's a good question if you get in a place where you're out of it. Now, what you'd want to do, I don't have xylitol sitting up here, but xylitol packets. Do I have a xylitol? Do you see it? Okay. I do have xylitol. I'm lying to you. Just kidding. But I don't have the little packets. So here's xylitol. It comes in packets as well. We have the packets in the office. So you can carry these packets in your briefcase, your suitcase, your bag, whatever. We also have the regular stevia, right? And then you can do the flavored stevia. But typically you're looking for like packets that you can carry around with you. Swerve, this is your erythritol. So these are going to be things that you'll want to, you can do your erythritol packets as well. You can do the Swerve packets. They have those as well. And just carry those with you. Yes.
What about, I might be jumping ahead, but I just don't see them on the table. What about like raw cane sugar, turbinado?
Those are, okay, those are good questions. She asked, what about raw or cane sugar?
Cane sugar. So all of
Cane sugar, yes.
But
So
other-
it's not GMO, so the cane sugar, organic cane sugar would be it would actually be a better option than maybe the organic cane sugar. You can bring that over. This is the xylitol packet, what it looks like. Turbinado sugar, as long as you're looking at organic, and then the coconut sugar. Those all cause your glycemic index to go up. Coconut sugar would be more of a core plan sugar, not an advanced plan sugar. It does cause your glycemic index to go up. And the other two sugars that you just mentioned, those also cause your glycemic index to go up. So those feed cancer. They do feed cancer. But if you're in a situation and you didn't have another option, it would be a better option than anything over here. Does that make sense? Does that help? Now, the coconut sugar, that's kind of a popular one that's been coming out now, and it is a core plan sugar. So core plan is for people who are eating, they are having some grains. They don't have a disease that they're dealing with. It's really healthy eating for everybody, and those are some of the sugars that you can have on it. So that's a good question. This is what the xylitol packets look like. I can kind of hear them in there.
I have
Okay.
a question
Yes.
about xylitol.
Yes.
I looked on WebMD and they said, and some other websites, not to consume too much of the xylitol.
Good question. So not to consume too much of the xylitol. Xylitol and erythritol are in the same family of sugar alcohols, and they can have a laxative effect. So some people don't like you can feel like if you eat too much of it, like if you have a dessert that has a lot of xylitol in it, it can have a laxative effect, so you can end up in the bathroom. Little bit of a laxative effect. So that is very true. And some people don't do well with it. So you want to figure out whether that's something that's good for you. It does not cause your glycemic index to go up. Preferably stevia would be your better choice. But that's some of what you're hearing is, yeah, that's true. It does have a laxative effect. Okay? Yes.
They said that too, but they were saying it could cause other side effects as well.
Usually the only thing that I've really seen, as long as it's a good xylitol, like from birchwood trees, it's usually just the only thing I hear is like stomach ache, like they have to go to the bathroom. That's usually what I hear. Yeah. Yes.
So the things that they put with the stevia, there's always an added, like you never get just stevia.
Yeah.
You get other stuff with it. What are the ones that are okay?
So
and what are the ones
so
that
her
are bad?
question was, when you go to the store and you'll see stevia, not all stevias are alike, right? I remember when Dr. Becky used to do the shopping days, and now Dr. DeBoer is doing the shopping days. One of the things that we found is that some of these big companies have caught on to the whole organic world. So you get companies like McDonald's and things like that come in and say, we want to have a stevia. And so they make a brand that says stevia, but it also has, bad stuff in it. What I have found, unfortunately, and what Dr. Becky told me after she was doing shopping day, she said that the stuff that she's seeing in the grocery stores are not good brands of stevia. So she said, Dr. Kimberly, just tell them to buy the stevia that is in the office, because that's the only one that she's seen so far. Now, I don't mind if you buy one and you're not sure. You can bring it in here and I'll look at it, but that's one of the things that she found. In addition, she said the same thing about salt. Salt was also a thing that she said some of the salt out there has sugar in it. So she said you have to look at some of the other ingredients in there. The two kinds of salt that are really good is Himalayan sea salt and what's the other?
That's the pink one that you
the
can
pink
get at
one,
Costco.
and what's the other one that I like?
Sea salt.
Celtic sea salt. CELTIC, Celtic sea salt. What would you like to say about this?
Yeah, what about that one?
So what would you like to say about it?
Okay, so it says on the front, organic stevia, all natural, 0-calorie sweetener. Ingredients. Please read it.
Oh, organic agave. Yeah. So that's not really, this isn't really going to be a stevia. Agave is on the list of, not having agave for advanced plants. So that's good. This is a good example.
But
So
when
is
you
that
get one of
core
those and it
plan?
just says organic stevia.
Yes, if you can get one that says just organic stevia, then you're good to go. Yeah. Just look at the other.
What
Unfortunately,
is the
guys,
one that's in your?
you have to look at, see this right here? It says ingredients, other ingredients. Sometimes there's just other stuff in there. So you just have to look at the other stuff. Because this has agave in it, it would not be an advanced plan stevia. It would be a core plan stevia. Okay? That's good.
And the other thing is, if they are saying organic stevia, like it's, oh my gosh, it is a stevia, but in the same time, it's a second ingredient here.
Yeah.
It's not the first one.
Yeah, that's good.
Is there a difference in stevia and stevia?
Steviva is just a brand. Steviva is a brand of stevia.
So what's the one that's in?
I'm sorry, Stevita. That's what I meant to say. Stevita is a brand of stevia. Yeah. And then erythritol.
Well, I think that's in there too.
Yeah.
And
So
it is Stevita.
erythritol is okay. Yep.
Is that the one that's spelled E-R?
ERY. ERY. Erythritol.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. ERY is good. Yep. This one I think just says erythritol. Yep. ERY, that's the word ERYTHRI, erythritol, and then xylitol, XYLITOL. Okay? So these are really good questions.
To take a step back, but all those artificial sweeteners that you talked about earlier,
Yeah.
it's probably been 25 or 35 years ago that I read that aspartame and some of those others cause headaches.
Yeah, so what he said was aspartame causes headaches. Yeah, that's really your precursor to brain tumors. Yeah, is the headache. So people who, I do have patients that come in here, and one of the processes that we go through when we're trying to figure out what's the cause of your headache is artificial sweeteners. So we do have to look at that stuff. Yeah. Some people are addicted to it too, so you just have to, I'll go through when I meet with people and I go through kind of like your list of foods that are, you're raising your hand?
Yeah.
Is it?
I have a question, I have a commentary to add to it.
Yeah.
One thing about xylitol is it's very bad for dogs.
Oh yeah, you don't want to give dogs chocolate. You don't want to give dogs, I wouldn't give dogs any of that kind of stuff. But back to the headaches, the aspartame, that is one of the precursors. So when you're trying to figure out why maybe you're having a headache, the aspartame is really one of the big things you want to look at.
By saying 25, 35 years ago, they didn't know that it caused that.
Oh, they didn't know it, but they did know it. Yeah, that's true. Yep. So these are some of the pictures here. The lowdown, now we talked about the bad being agave, honey, and maple syrup. Now that's really because it causes an increase in your glycemic index. You can get honey that is not the honey bear. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? This is pouring honey bear. Honey is not meant to be poured, guys. Honey was not readily available, right, in nature, and it's something that you have to scoop it out, like good honey, right? And that's more of a core plan. So if you're following the core plan, then honey would be okay for the core plan, right? So some people like to put it in their tea and things like that. That would be better, but you gotta make sure it's a good source. It can't be the teddy bear. get the teddy bear out of the house. Like, that's just not good.
The raw and filtered is what.
Exactly, raw and filtered. Yep, you got it. And unfortunately, the other thing I want to just add about honey is because they're doing so much spraying. You know, when I lost my voice last week because of the spraying, they're killing our bees. They're making our bees toxic from these sprays, and our honey is just in this area is just ruined. Like, you have to find out the source of where the honey is coming from and make sure it's not being bees are not being sprayed. I had dead bees in my pool. Anybody else have dead bees in their pool when they sprayed? It's sad. I mean, when you kill the bees, we're all dead, right? So baking. Couple questions that people have about baking organic butter. I'm going to just cover a couple things, and then we'll go get some food. I only have a couple more things, and then we'll do questions about cancer-fighting foods in a second. Baking, the best foods to bake with, like you can do for lower heat, you know, like 325 or less. You can do butter, you can do coconut oil, but you can do olive oil. Okay? Some of the newer research that's coming out that we're hearing about is that olive oil actually can be used at some higher heats. I'm not all the way there yet, so I'm just going to tell you guys lower heat with the olive oil until we get all the facts in. I'm doing some research right now, and I didn't feel super confident to tell you, yeah, go ahead and do it. What I don't want you to do is burn the oil, so then it becomes rancid, it becomes a canola oil, and then, you know, now we've killed the cell membrane. So I don't want you to do that. Higher heats are better with butter, olive oil, coconut oil. You can also use grapeseed oil. Those are things that are good for like baking and things like that, okay? So those are the good oils. If you're not sure, I have a couple, like, of course, you know, everybody knows you're staying away from this, right? My mom would kill me if I told you this, but this was like French fry heaven growing up, right? We would pour this in a pan and try not to burn the house down and heat it up and throw your French fries in there, right? This is what we did, and then you could keep it over and over and over again, right? Anybody else do that? Just me? My mom doesn't do that anymore. Yes.
Is that vegetable oil?
Yes, it's vegetable oil. Vegetable, canola oil, they're pretty much the same. Yeah, so these are the oils that you want to stay away from. You want to buy the oils that you want to use for cooking at high heats would be the coconut oil. This is the better. And in the wintertime, it gets hard, right? When it starts to get hot out, you'll see it kind of liquefy. So the coconut oil is going to be what you'll want to use for high heat items. Olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, that's going to be another one. And then grapeseed oil is another kind of oil for cooking at higher temperatures, right? And then just good old plain, wonderful butter, right? That's
What
good.
about avocado oil?
Avocado oil, lower heat temperature. So avocado oil is good, but just lower heat. No. No. Safflower and sunflower you're going to stay away from. Okay. Yep.
I found that grapeseed oil actually makes my eggs taste better.
Well, that's fine. And if it helps you to, yeah, grapeseed oil, great. You can use the grapeseed oil. Yeah, peanut oil is a bad oil as well, too. It's another one of those high, bad fat oils. Yeah. Now, what happens when we have, you know, what's the big deal about oils? Oils, fats, make up your brain, right, and your nervous system, right? Your brain and your nervous system is mostly made up of fat, right? And all of your cells in your body have a cell membrane, and the cell membrane is made up of mostly what? Fat, right? So if I have 30 trillion cells today, and I want to birth another healthy 30 trillion cells tomorrow, and I want the cell membrane to be healthy. I mean, what happens with the cell membrane of all of your cells? I have a liver cell right here, let's just say. And the cell membrane allows the nutrients to get in the cell, and it allows the toxins to leave the cell, right? Now, if I have a cell membrane made up of, what were the oils that you said? Vegetable oil, let's just say. Vegetable oil, canola oil. Some of these bad oils, the fast food restaurant oils, things like that, if I have that and that's what I'm consuming in my diet, then it's like taking your cell membrane and wrapping saran wrap around it. So if you can imagine 30 trillion cells that have saran wrap around them, just imagine that right now. Am I going to get nutrients into the cell? Am I going to get toxins out of the cell? So if I'm not going to be able to do either one of those things, can I lose weight? Can I overcome cancer? What about any diagnosis? I can't do that, right? So if I'm stopping into, and I have a diagnosis of some kind I'm trying to overcome, and I'm stopping in the drive-thru once a week or twice a week or whatever, that's part of my routine, and you have a diagnosis, you have to shut that down because your cell membranes are wrapped in saran wrap and you're not getting nutrients into the cell and you can't dump toxins. And so it's very critical that your cell membranes are healthy. Now, how long does it take for you to get the saran wrap off your cells? Anybody know?
4 months.
It takes a couple weeks to 4 months to heal from a bag of French fries, right? But to begin the process, it takes about 2 weeks. You're beginning the process of shedding the saran wrap, right? Now, in that process, that's what we would call following the advanced plan. That's the plan that's in these books, okay? And most of the recipes are made with this advanced plan. That means there's no sugar, all these good sugars and good oils, right? In that process, how do you think you might feel at first when you first start doing it?
Sick.
You feel sick? That's true, you could feel sick. What else might you feel? Hungry? How about headachy? What about cranky?
Oh, yeah.
And it's probably the common thing, right? You're cranky. You want to kill somebody because you just want the food, sugar, right? And so, yeah. So for those of us who have experienced that process of, you're trying to heal your cell membranes, it can be uncomfortable and painful, right? So you want to make sure that you stick through it and know that that's just part of the process, okay? So hang in there. Whole grains, the human race obviously survived without grains. They had good stuff in biblical time. I mean, we don't have the good stuff anymore. But what's cool is 20 bowls of oatmeal. It would require 20 bowls of oatmeal to get the nutrients from 1 bowl of kale. I mean, that's crazy, right? You're talking about white stuff, right? Oatmeal is a white stuff, right? It's considered in the grain category. So you want to stay away from oatmeal as well when you're following the advanced plan, okay? So kale, right, has more nutrients in it than 20 bowls of oatmeal. Other alternative to refined grains. So when you're looking at trying to replace the flours in your house, these are the other alternatives. There are some beautiful things out there that you won't believe. Like we had pancakes this past weekend. It was homecoming, and we drove our kids all over town, back and forth for the dances and all the other things. And I said, you guys are making us breakfast in bed Sunday. I said, I want eggs and I want pancakes. And so pancakes, using the coconut flour and the perfect protein, you can't eat 1 or 2 pancakes and you're full. Now, when you make pancakes with the white bleached flour, the typical pancakes that Mom used to make when we were kids, right? I'm throwing my mom under the bus tonight. She really eats so much better now, guys, I promise. But the stuff that we ate when we didn't know better, right? With the white flour, how many pancakes can you eat with just the white enriched flour?
3 or 4. Continue.
Depends on.
I mean, it's like, keep it coming, right? Keep it coming, right? I mean, my mom would sit there and we would have it finished eating before she'd be done throwing the next one at us, right? That's because why? Why can we eat so many bleached, enriched flour pancakes? Why can we eat so many? Quay said it. There's no nutrients. Nutrients make you what? Full. You get that? So when you make pancakes out of the coconut flour, you're so full. It's like you ate a coconut. You ever eat a coconut? How filling coconut is? So this is a fabulous flour. In addition, almond flour, right? Almond flour. So anytime you find a recipe that you really love, just replace it with some of these flours. And you can make cookies and things like that. You just want to replace it. Now, flaxseed meal is another really fabulous thing that you'll use for flours and to make things kind of, thick and harder, right? Flaxseed meal is fabulous. So these are your really good flours that you're actually going to try tonight here in just a second. Upcoming events I'll hit on, and then I'll let you guys go get your stuff. Are we ready for food in there? Are we ready? Okay, fabulous. What we have coming up, and while you're eating, I'm going to go through some things that we learned from the cancer, the truth about cancer stuff. I'm going to tell you some things that we're going to start having and some things you can start doing to actually fight cancer at home naturally. And then we'll share and answer any questions as well. And so upcoming events, we have a stress and sleep workshop coming up. And so Dr. David's going to go through that and like how sleep affects your health, right? And shuts and messes your hormones up, right? And how stress can affect your sleep. So we're going to get into that. And then we have a community dinner coming up that is at our new location. And what is the new location called, Dr. DeBoer? Black Walnut. Who has been to Black Walnut? Do you guys like the food at Black Walnut? Have you been there? It's so good. You know, like, I love it. I love it. They have this grapefruit juice there. Have you ever had the fresh squeezed grapefruit juice? Delicious. It's awesome.
I've been in one in Houston. It was awesome.
Oh, this one here, the fresh squeezed grapefruit juice, awesome. If you've never had it there, they have carrot juice and grapefruit juice. Really, really good. Anyway, this is fabulous. And that looks like that. So for those of you who've never been there, it's right here on Denton Tap. Okay, that's it. And then you guys can go ahead and let's do the front 2 rows. And you guys can head in through that door, and the team will help you out. And I'll be in here to answer some questions and go over some other fun things that I think is going to be really awesome for all of us.
I'd like to say something real quick. I'm
Yes.
diabetic, and for years I have been saying I don't eat anything white except cauliflower.
Yeah, he doesn't eat anything white except cauliflower now. Yeah. Cauliflower is an anti-cancer food. One of the highest anti-cancer foods is cauliflower. Yep. So, what's the word? Sulforaphanes? Cruciferous vegetables. That's easier to say.
So what's the deal with fruit and sugar and fruit? Is it the type of fruit, basically? I would think orange juice is lethal without anything else to it. Is it based on acidity? Fruit is actually, there's a big difference between fruit sugar and donut sugar.
Yep.
Trying to figure out what.
That's a really good question. So the question is, what's the deal with fruit? Like, what's, how do we know, really, like, when do I eat it? What's good fruit? What's the deal with fruit? When you look in chapter 4 of this book and chapter 3 in this book, chapter 3 has what we call the core plan. And there's this chart in here that's really fabulous. It's on page, let me find it real quick. It's on page 42, and the chart talks about lower glycemic carbohydrates, right? Because we were talking about carbs, right? Fruits are carbs. Low glycemic carbohydrates, and then moderate glycemic carbohydrates, as well as high glycemic carbohydrates. Okay. So it breaks them up, and it shows you which vegetables and fruits are higher glycemic, moderate, and low glycemic. Okay. When you talk about advanced plan, you want to do things that are lower glycemic because it's lower sugar, right? The fruits that have the lowest sugar in them are berries, any berry, and Granny Smith apples, so the green apples, lemons, and limes. Those are going to be the fruits that have the lowest glycemic index. If you think about it, if you eat watermelon, right, and you eat a green apple, which one makes you want to eat more?
Watermelon.
The watermelon, right? Because it's sweeter, right? Yeah. The green apple has a lower glycemic index, so it doesn't make you want to keep on eating a whole bunch of them, right? So when you're following the advanced plan and you have a diagnosis of some kind, or you're trying to lose weight, right? There's something that you're trying to overcome or get off a medication that you don't want to have to take anymore. Advanced plan is the plan, and the fruits that you want to eat on the advanced plan are berries and Granny Smith apples, lemons and limes. Those are the best ones, just because they have a low glycemic index. Now, fruit is not bad. Right. Fruit, I mean, you can see on here what's beautiful about the core plan is it tells you which fruits are the best. For example, I'm going to give you an example like from the book here. High fiber, scratch. Let's see. Low fiber, high glycemic carbohydrates. The timing of when to eat these are really powerful if you're going to follow the core plan. It says eat these carbs only during the recovery from exercise. Avoid them completely if weight loss is a concern. just because it's sitting around all that sugar doesn't have anywhere you're not burning it off, right? So that timing, banana, I'll give you the list. The fruits on that list that are higher, banana's number one. The highest glycemic fruit is a banana, right? So you would want to eat a banana, if you're following core plan, then you would want to eat a banana after your workout, right? Watermelon, dates, pineapple, mango, honey, grapes, papaya, and fruit juice. Those are all fruits that are high glycemic index, right? And they're lower in fiber, okay? So timing. It's really just about the timing aspect of it. So that's a really good question.
It's unfortunate. Watermelon is ridiculously alkaline.
Say it again.
I said watermelon is ridiculously alkaline.
Yes.
And so if you're watching your acidity, I did that a lot, but I didn't realize that it had that much. I didn't realize it ranked up there along with like oranges.
Yeah. Now I like, if you're doing core plan, to eat the rainbow of things. Like you can juice with some of these things that are fabulous.
Okay.
It's just that when you have somebody, Milady, give me a second, I'll get your question in just a second. When you have somebody who's dealing with the diagnosis of some kind, we don't want to feed that any kind of sugar at all.
Right, but it's also logical, wouldn't it be, preventive, just...
Yeah, healthy eating in general, yeah. Eat the rainbow. Eat the rainbow for sure.
But if you can eat the advanced plan, whether you're diagnosed or not, it just seems like it's better preventive.
You're right, yeah. If you follow the advanced plan, even if you don't have a diagnosis, it's healthier in general, yes, you're right.
It's harder to get there, I would guess.
Well, it's a process, and everybody, depending upon where you start, it's a process for everybody. Some people just cold turkey and just go straight for it. Then you get the better results faster. People who drag it on, it takes a little longer, for sure. Yes, Milady, what was your question?
About papaya.
Papaya is on the list.
And it's supposed to be an incredible, the papaya and
it is.
For the
beautiful. Yep.
So
papaya is a core plan fruit.
Right.
All these fruits, nobody is saying that these fruits are not good, because they really are. They're really good. All that for the purposes of trying to overcome a disease, or let's say you're diabetic, or cancer or something like that, or you're trying to get off a medication, or maybe you're dealing with an emotional imbalance, and you're on a medication for emotional imbalances. All those things require a very low sugar. And these fruits, you'll use up your sugar intake, even a natural sugar, and just be done for the day. And what it does is it feeds the disease process, and it causes your levels to go like this. So until you overcome the disease process and you've balanced yourself out, then you can go on to the core plan, and you can eat all these lovely fruits. And as long as you're getting a good amount of fat, because really you really want to get 60% fat. If you're getting a good amount of good fats, like I'm talking about these flaxseed oil and all these, you're getting a good amount of fat, papaya is not going to be an issue because you're absorbing it with the fiber. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. All these different fruits, honestly, one of the most powerful things that I have loved about watching this Truth About Cancer series is that, you watch it and you kind of go, wow, God, you are amazing. You really gave us everything that we need in the plants and the herbs, right? He gave us everything that we need, the plants, the flowers, the herbs, to overcome anything. And really, the plants in the Bible says that was meant to be our medicine, right? We just have kind of messed it all up. We've gotten away from it. And so if we can get back to growing some of these things, in our yards and things like that, we have everything we need. So how does everything taste? So what are we tasting? Because I know that my daughter brought almond bars. Dorota, did you cut up the almond bars that Zoe made? Dorota? Did you cut up the almond bars? Did you cut up the almond bars?
Not yet.
Are you going to bring them out?
Hopefully, yes.
Okay. They're like, I didn't see them. I want some. My Zoe made almond bars. She made almond bars last night. She made a batch for my house. And it's in the advanced plan in the breakfast section. Have you guys all had almond bars? It's in the breakfast section. In the first, when you go to turn to the breakfast section, it's one of my favorite recipes.
Okay, David said he made it.
Well, Zoe made yesterday's batch.
Okay.
Yeah, he came up with the recipe though.
Reese's cup in the.
No, that's a recipe.
Woo! I want to hear about Reese's cups.
It is organic peanut butter.
Yay! Did you hear
Bring
that?
the recipe.
I can't give it to you. I meant to type it up and I forgot, so you could take a picture.
Okay, will you? And then we'll post
It
it.
has vanilla protein powder in there, and it's
What kind of chocolate?
it's coconut oil, almond butter, and then
She's talking about the Reese's cups. Did you guys try them?
and then
Did you try that? Reese's peanut butter cups?
Cocoa powder.
cocoa powder.
It's good. You did good.
Okay.
My sister.
It was like a Reese's cup it looked like.
I was going to say that about Dr. David, but you beat me to it.
So it sounds like we've got Reese's cups. What else do we have? We have the almond bars are in the fridge. Dorota didn't bring them out yet, so you guys can save room for those. But they're in the breakfast section, and it is the fourth recipe down, and it's called almond power bars. And if you have a Vitamix, it's easier to make them, but you don't have to have a Vitamix. And they look like this, and what you can do is you can melt chocolate, or you can buy the Lily's chocolate chips and just throw it all over the top. And they're lovely. And she made a batch for us and made a batch for the house. And she came home today before I came up there. She goes, Mom, I made them last night and they're almost gone. I said, I didn't have any. Just kidding. It's one of my favorite things. And you know, if you know that you like to have little sweets around the house so that you can make sure you maintain self-control, keep this stuff in the house. It's lovely. How does everything taste, girls? You like it? You like? Yes? Oh, Dad gives a thumbs up. Okay, good. Fabulous. What do you think? How does it taste? Good? Okay, good. ¿Entiendes? Okay. Okay, so that is the almond bar. What else? What else tastes good, guys?
This nut chocolate thing.
It's the same thing. It's
You
just
made that
the
too?
same base, just mixed. Some.
Wow, that looks amazing. It's like, what is it?
They're freezer chocolate, so you have to keep them cold because it's
Okay.
coconut. Here, I'll
Keep
tell you.
it cold.
It's
Okay.
coconut oil, cocoa powder, almond
Coconut
butter,
oil, cocoa powder, almond butter.
and then I use actually a mixture of the Stevita and the Swerve.
Stevita and Swerve.
Vanilla protein.
Swerve is erythritol.
Okay.
So she put that in there.
Vanilla protein.
Vanilla,
and
perfect
salt.
protein, and salt.
That's it.
Wow, we need the recipe. That looks
I know,
amazing.
I'll type-
What did you call it? What is
It's
it called?
freezer milk chocolate.
Freezer milk chocolates. Ooh, ooh. Good? Freezer milk chocolates. So some of these desserts you'll find you kind of have to keep them like you have to eat them pretty quick. Like even the almond bars, they'll melt. So you have to eat them pretty quick.
Yeah, they call for it in the cobbler,
Yeah, yeah.
and I had to chop some more almonds up and put some more plastic. It wouldn't crumble.
It wouldn't crumble.
Put
Uh-huh.
on top and so I mixed that back in it to get it crumbled.
Good. There you go.
One strip of the bars.
There you go. Awesome.
It was perfect for that.
Awesome. You just experiment with it. Yeah. Okay.
Take a strip of the power bars and put it away because that's what you need for the cobbler.
Okay. Now, how many of you have ever had dessert for dinner, right?
Awesome.
And then it's actually healthy. Isn't that awesome?
I'm so full.
You're full, all right? And it's super full. Now, the same thing. Did you guys like all the desserts we made at the women's event? Did you like it? Did my team do amazing or what? I was so proud of them. That was like the best looking spread of food I have seen at any event ever. Right? It was so good. It was so pretty too, huh? Yeah. Oh, so wasn't it pretty? They did so good. I was so proud of them.
Okay, you win, in my opinion.
Thank you.
All right. Pam wins.
Like this is, I think this is a little bit too sweet, but it still not feed the cancer.
It will not feed cancer. It does not feed cancer because, let me show you. This stuff feeds cancer. This stuff does not feed cancer. It's actually healthy.
A lot sugar on this.
If you see, because the kind of sugars you're going to use are xylitol, erythritol, and stevia. Anytime some recipe calls for sugar, you're going to use these instead, and that does not feed cancer.
Oh, okay.
It actually, no, it actually heals. All this stuff is healing to your cells because you're getting all these good nuts and good seeds and the good coconut oils and things like that. They're all anti-cancer. So one of the things about cancer cells is they don't. Do you guys heard of the term apoptosis? Apoptosis, like cancer cells don't die like normal cells do, and so what you have to do is you have to make a cancer cell either commit suicide and die, or behave properly like a normal cell. And so what you want to do is feed your body, feed your cells things that will make it do that. And so some of the things that will make it do that are these foods that you're eating right now, right? The good coconut oil, right? I'll get into a couple other things that does that as well. See, I have on my list. Okay, turmeric. We talked about turmeric, right? Turmeric is one of the best anti-cancer things out there. Now, you guys started the day out with turmeric. Turmeric and ginger, right? Kale, spinach. You started because I gave you a shot of this juice. This juice, juicing is very powerful. It has all these anti-cancer ingredients in it. So you started with a shot that immediately your body said, uh-oh, your cancer cells said, uh-oh, I need to behave and start acting like a normal cell that goes through a process of death and makes a new cell, right? So, and then the oxygen is another thing that cancer does not. Cancer loves sugar, so we're stealing the sugar. We're not feeding it sugar. And cancer hates oxygen. It hates oxygen. So what are the things, what can we do to kill cancer cells to get oxygen? Exercise, right? So the kind of exercise where you hit it, like Max T3, right? But there's also a recipe. Have you ever heard of the Budwig protocol? It's right here on the board. It's called the Budwig protocol. Budwig protocol has flax oil and cottage cheese, like a full-fat cottage cheese. And that's actually in this book here as well, Budwig protocol. So what the Budwig protocol says is you have a bowl and you put cottage cheese in a bowl and you put 2 tablespoons of flax oil in the bowl and you stir it. And you can put anything else that you want in it to make, like let's say you want to put some berries in it, make it taste sweet. You can put stevia in it if you want to. You can put the sweetener in it. I like it with salt and pepper, so I'll just put some salt and pepper on it. And it activates oxygen and actually causes the cancer cells to die because of the oxygen in the Budwig protocol. When you stir that, it causes this oxygenation process to happen. It's like an electrical charge, and when you consume the Budwig protocol here, it actually is anti-cancer. So these are foods that are killing cancer and killing unhealthy cells. Budwig, B-U-D-W-I-G, Budwig protocol.
Is that an acronym?
It's a name of a person.
Oh, okay.
Yep, name of a person. A name of a person.
So where do you get that Budwig protocol?
Budwig protocol. You can come up here and just take a picture of it. Yeah, take a picture of it. And it's something very powerful to eat every day is the Budwig protocol.
What do you buy?
And all you do is go buy flaxseed oil. You can buy some flaxseed oil at the grocery store. and you buy cottage cheese at the grocery store. It's all you need. Those 2 ingredients, that's it. 2 tablespoons of flaxseed oil in cottage cheese and stir it. Now when you try it, if you want it to be a little salty, you like things a little salty or peppery, then salt and pepper it. If you like it to be a little more sweet, you might add some berries to it. You know, keep it advanced plain and add a little stevia. However you like it, that's how you eat it. But that is one of the most powerful things to kill cancer, anti-cancer. So listen, we start out with some juice. We juice every day. That's anti-cancer. We have Budwig protocol. That's anti-cancer because of the oxygen properties, right? Right? So those are things we talk about. We take our turmeric, right? That's anti-cancer, right? And the other things that we got out of there in the anti-cancer, so the detox system. This here is anti-cancer. You're actually putting in all the precursors that you need to heal the cell and pull the toxins out of the cell. So this is anti-cancer, okay? This product. One of the other powerful things that you can do is consume mushrooms. Special kind of mushrooms are also anti-cancer. And it's so cool when you hear this stuff. It's like God gave us everything, all these beautiful mushrooms, right? Liver Life is one of the best products that we have that is all mushroom. So mushrooms are anti-cancer. So you can do, let me tell you the mushrooms that are in here. Agaricus blazei mushroom, red root, milk thistle seed, olive leaf, turkey tail mushroom, reishi mushroom, and maitake mushroom. So mushrooms are also massively anti-cancer. You can eat them, and you can also put these drops in a bit of water and shoot it, right? It's one of the best things for your liver, and it's anti-cancer again. It's called Liver Life, and it's got many mushrooms in it. We're talking about mushrooms now. How mushrooms, I know. That's why if you don't like mushrooms, then you just shoot a shot of this.
You put that in water or what?
Bad for you.
God gave us all these mushrooms that are anti-cancer. It's amazing. So the mushrooms, Agaricus blazei mushroom, reishi mushroom, turkey tail mushroom, and maitake mushroom. These are all very powerful things that are anti-cancer, these mushrooms. Okay, let's see what else we have in here. Yes?
The almond bar, we just brought it out, so you never.
Okay, so the almond bar, Dr. Joelle says, is out. So if you want a sliver of the almond bar, try some almond bar. The almond bar is anti-cancer.
That juice, and I told you I got that NutriBullet, and I get the fiber.
Yeah, you
with
get the fiber.
Okay.
It's fabulous. Fabulous. Nope, it's good.
Okay.
It's all good. Yep. You can get all that in there. It's great. Yes.
Sorry, that was totally random off subject.
That's right.
I'm assuming that you've heard of the blood type diet, and I'm just curious what.
Yes, I have heard of the blood type diet. You can follow it. I haven't found a whole lot of huge research that makes me jump both of my feet into it. But if you want to follow it, some people find that they get benefits from doing it.
My blood type is A.
Me too. And some of what I learned about blood type diet really fits. I know when I do certain things with it, I feel better, and like the way I never have liked to run, but I always preferred to dance or do yoga, and that was where I got my zen, where my old friends were like, no, I've got to run. You know, I got to have meat.
So there, I mean, I think some people like some of the things. I don't know if you like everything, but, you know.
Well, when I went to my first chiropractor when I was like 14, he had me try it because I was having these tons of issues.
Yeah.
And I did it like pretty strictly for 6 months, and it just rocked my world.
In a good way?
After Yeah.
Okay, in a good way.
It made so many things.
Great. Awesome.
Easier.
Yeah.
And then slowly I figured out like what I could.
A lot of the other things you can have. Yeah.
Whatever. But mushrooms are one of the things I'm not supposed to eat. And whenever I eat them, like get really congested. And I don't know if it's like the mold.
Well, yeah. If you have to have organic, non-GMO. Like it has to be good sources for sure. I got to tell you, I can't say that I've really loved them either. But when I learn stuff that I know that's healthy for me, like I make sure I learn to love it. I make myself figure out how to love it.
A lot of other things I don't know if I can work mushrooms in.
Yeah. When I watched this cancer series, it was like 20 hours. The series is like 20 hours, and I could not believe the amount of doctors that are scientists that were talking about the benefits of all these different kinds of mushrooms. And so I'm just giving it to you. You can pick all of them and not choose the mushrooms. It's just an idea. Yeah. So turmeric, let's see. The different cleanses were really powerful. The anti-cancer, so the heavy metal detox, the chemical, which is the detox system, the parasite cleanse, these are all anti-cancer. Vitamin C is also anti-cancer. So here we have, I think this is it, C Biofizz. 1 teaspoon of C Biofizz is 2,500 milligrams of vitamin C. You can most of the time get away with 2 teaspoons a day without it creating diarrhea, but this is anti-cancer. So for me, one of the things I do is I'll do my workout in the morning and I'll do this with my magnesium, and I'll get in the sauna and I'll sweat more. I'll get more toxins out. So this is really powerful. Vitamin C is another really, really good thing that's very powerful to be able to have when you're following an advanced plan and you're trying to overcome cancer. So did everybody hear about the Budwig diet? We're good with that? Everybody heard?
I have a question.
Yes.
It's 3 different things you can do. The flaxseed and the cottage cheese.
Yep.
For that. Okay.
There's 3 ways you can do it. Unfortunately, these foods are not available anymore. The sprouted, we can't get access to these anymore. So really, it's going to look like the top one. Right. Yeah. The traditional Budwig protocol is really the cottage cheese and flax oil. That's traditional.
So is there a certain kind of cottage cheese that you
just full fat? Just full fat, the cleanest version that you can get. Yeah. The doctor that's in Spain that we worked with before we came out with all the metabolic stuff, Dr. Hilu, he's in this book as one of the resources for people that would go to overcome cancer. Like if they have a really bad diagnosis, they'd go there. Dr. Charlie went there. That's one of the things that he has all his cancer patients do is the Budwig protocol because of the activation of the oxygen.
Once a day in the morning?
Yeah, you can do it whenever you want to. Doesn't matter when, and it doesn't matter how you sweeten it or salt it or pepper it. Either way, any kind. He didn't care. He just wants the oxygen to be activated. And he's got a blood microscope, so he would look under the blood microscope at your blood after you eat it, and it's phenomenal what it does to the blood. And so, the life in the blood, it's pretty powerful. 2 tablespoons of flax oil and as much cottage cheese as you want.
Do you have to keep the flax oil refrigerated?
Yeah, put it in there. You don't have to. I don't have mine refrigerated. I have some refrigerated and some out because my kids take a lot of flax oil. I have all my kids take flax oil. So yeah. Now you can use flax oil for enemas. You can use flax oil for a lot of things. And for people who have cancer, sometimes that's only they can get it in there immediately and sit with it inside you for like 30 minutes, like coffee enemas and things like that. Speaking of coffee enemas, coffee enemas are a very powerful way for anti-cancer. It actually boosts your glutathione 600 to 700%. Coffee enemas do. So that's another really powerful thing that Dr. Hilu talks about is as far as anti-cancer is concerned. Let me look and see if there's anything else on here. Oh, one thing we're going to get, we're going to start carrying soon is a product called ESSIAC, ESSIAC. It's very powerful for your lymphatic system. So for people, cancer really messes with your immune system, right? And so ESSIAC was one of the #1 things that many people who have different kinds of cancers, like the leukemias and the Hodgkin's lymphomas and all these different kinds of cancers that really have the immune system very backed up. I mean, that's cancer in general. But the SEACT was very powerful. Now, we looked around to see if we had it, and I know that we were looking at some of the local grocery stores, and they don't have it the way that they recommend that you do it. So I'm ordering some to get it here in the office. Because when I do thermography, one of the things that I'll see on thermography is I'll see some people, their lymphatic system is so congested. And your lymphatic system has to be clear because it's what channels the toxins to flush them out of the system. And if your lymphatic system is clogged, you know, your nerve supply to your lymphatic system, here's your lymphatic system. You guys see here? Lymphatic system, the nerve supply comes from the lower part of your neck, and the lymphatic system is these little beads. You can see this little chain, these little kind of little pebbles that are all over your body. So one of the things we recommended was the, you know, standing in a very hot shower and doing the skin brush. That's very good. Rebounding was really good for lymphatics. We have a product in here that's called Chronic Lymph. But the other thing that we have that is super, super effective is this SEACT. So we're going to start having that in the office for people to, the guy who did this cancer series, his aunt, she would drink SEACT every day, and it kept her completely clear. I think it was pancreatic cancer. And it kept her completely clear, and for some reason she just stopped drinking it. And when she stopped drinking it, the cancer came back, and she just had forgotten to go back to it. So she ended up, about a year and a half later, ended up dying, and she stopped doing the SEACT. It just out of their mind. When he did the documentary, he remembered, and he learned from all these scientists how effective the SEACT was, and you know, very sad that he didn't get his aunt back on the SEACT. So that's another very powerful thing that you can do to keep your lymphatic system clear. Okay, so keep your eyes peeled for that. It's coming soon. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see. But I think we can sweeten anything. We can sweeten anything. You can mix it with different teas or stevia. I don't know yet. I'll get it here soon. We're really excited about it. I gave Dorota a list like this of all these different things that we're going to have in the office, and we're like bouncing around like really excited.
Are you putting me under the bus?
No. We're going to get a lot of good stuff in here, aren't we?
You have to try.
Aren't we excited?
We feel sorry for you.
Yeah, that's true. But if I have to read her handwriting, it's a mess. Polish and English. It's just a funny mess. Okay, what's the other thing too? Before I let you go, the other thing, anti-cancer, vitamin D. Right? So making sure your vitamin D levels are, now we're missing the sunshine. Any chance you get in sunshine, get out inside it. But make sure that you know that your vitamin D levels are between 70 and 90. Right? 70 and 90, you're fighting every cancer. If you don't know, we have the test kits here in the office. You can test your own vitamin D. Very simple, little blood prick, and it's a quick test, and we'll get your results back and make sure that you are in the range that you need to be in. So those are all very good anti-cancer things.
What
yes.
that test costs?
Yep, Dorota, do you know the cost of the vitamin D test? It's under 100, but I don't know what.
I think it's 99, but I don't know. I would check.
Should go check.
When are they going to come up with like a litmus paper?
I know, right? It's a blood test.
That is going to be the wealthiest person in the world.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I'm with you.
P or whatever.
Yep, I'm with you.
I'd prick and litmus or whatever.
Yeah, I would do it too. I'm with you. Any questions? No, I mean, if you don't maintain your vitamin D levels, you won't. If you don't maintain by getting sunshine,
Get it there?
once you get it there, you can keep it there as long as you make sure you've taken your vitamin D levels. Yep, you can keep it there.
Have you started doubling up?
This time of year, you have to double up because this is the season. This is it.
I know. Remember, you have your October story.
I know this thing right here. You're talking about this? Oh, no. My sugar cravings? I'm good with sugar. I don't have any sugar cravings right now. I'm good.
I have a question.
Yes.
I researched because I cannot take the vitamin D with the probiotics because I don't do well with probiotics. So I bought a liquid.
The liquid drops?
Liquid vitamin D.
I have a liquid one here for kids that can't. Mostly it's for kids, but you can use it as well too.
The only thing I haven't tried yet, it looks awesome, it has great reviews, but it's mixed with the sunflower oil.
Oh, no, that's not a good. No.
Sunflower?
Get rid of that. Don't do it.
No sunflower.
Because now you're trashing your hormones and don't do that. I have a liquid here. I do have a liquid vitamin D here, so you're okay. If you want to do the liquid one that's here, that's fine. That one works good as well too, especially it's easily probably to absorb and it won't bother you. Yeah.
But if it's for kids, I won't get the same.
No. It says it's for, the reason why I say it's for kids is because sometimes kids can't swallow capsules. And so I have a liquid one and it's 2,000 IUs per drop. So you would need 5 drops per day. So you'd be fine. To get you to 10,000 for this time of year, we need 10,000, because we're in flu season right now. So yeah, you'd be fine with it. Yeah, just do that. Any other questions?
Sunflower oil is bad, but the sunflower seeds,
Yeah,
if you're drinking granola breakfast is okay.
Those are fine as long as they're good seeds. As long as they're good seeds. But for some reason, the sunflower and the safflower, those are all the oils, are all the bad oils.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's good.
The way they are.
The processing.
Also, to create that much oil would take pounds of sunflower.
Which is, it's good. Anything else?
You're awesome.
Was this good, you guys?
It's very good.
Did this help you?
Yes.
I'm so happy. Dr. DeBoer, did you want to add anything? Do we have anything for our friends in here? Dr. DeBoer is going to do our next recipe night. Aren't you excited? Did you guys see her awesome? Did you see her awesome? What?
Apron.
Did you see her apron?
That was cute.
Bring the apron out, Dr. DeBoer. Put it on. She is wearing this proudly.
Did she make it?
And a patient blessed her with this. Look at that.
No, you have to do that.
Now come up here so it can be on camera. So show the camera because Dr. Rhoda wants to see it. Now, did you guys notice that Dr. David's has this on it? Right? So she just made this for her, this patient did. And I said, guess what? You get to teach the next recipe night
with my apron.
In your apron, right?
Very cute.
Isn't that awesome? So anything that we need, Dr. DeBoer? No. Do we need anything? Are we good?
Shopping.
Okay.
Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shopping day at Costco. So if you guys don't have any other questions, then you may be released. And do we have any food in there that they want to grab? If you want to grab anything on the way out, I'll be here for any questions if you have any. Bless you guys. God bless you, bless you, bless you. And all the food that went down as well too. In Jesus' name.